All right. So welcome to the team call. It is Thursday, September, 1 second, Hadley. 7th. This is the team call for Team Mountain Strong, Team Find Your Joy, Empowered Elite. I think that the Wildfire Tribe had their own team call too, but they're jumping in here. So we've got a lot of faces. I'm excited to see you all here and have you on. Psyched to hear from Kelly Spencer. But first, I want to do some shout outs. I've got to first shout out Kelly Joy Spencer because she had a little hiccup in her own account. So she's not 1-star qualifying today, but she will be next week. And she got her husband's account to Diamond today. So that's a really, really huge feat. Kelly Kuntz has done that, but that's a really big deal, you guys. Like, you imagine how long some of you have worked to get your own accounts to Diamond, or if you haven't yet. So she did that, and then on top of that, and always hitting SC in her own business center, she also got her husband's account to Diamond. So this is the way she's going to maximize earning money. And I'm just like really proud of her. She's doing this full time now. She is doing other things, writing a book, doing some parenting stuff. Like, she's doing a lot right now, and I just feel really proud of her. So I wanted to give her a big shout out. And then also a shout out to Nurse Heine over here for being Coach of the Week and just killing it with social media and all that good stuff. So obviously I love all you guys on the team, and I want to shout everybody out, but those are the first two that come to mind. Does anybody else have any shout outs today?
I do.
Yay.
I have two, and I'm not counting my husband. He doesn't get shout outs because he's late and he was supposed to be here at 6:30.
Okay.
I am shouting out first Bree, who's on the call. Yay, Bree. She hit Emerald yesterday. And then she messaged me. She has like 2 other people that are signing up. And I don't know if you guys saw this when she did her coming out post. She had like 15 or 20 people just raise their hand and say like, I'm in. So this girl's like really, I guess, trustworthy is my word I want to use. Like, people love her, and she's going to be an amazing leader for her team. So I'm excited. And then the next is Ashley, who also hit Emerald today. And Ashley is going to be one of those people who's like the social media dog is the only way I can explain it. She's like been using Instagram her whole life, I feel like. And so she's going to be one of those people that connects with people really well via like Instagram stories. And that's actually been the only way she's been recruiting so far, is Instagram stories. So if you ever want advice on that, ask Ashley. So those are my 2.
Awesome. Anybody else?
Yeah, I have one too. Hi everyone. I don't know if she's here. Because she's getting prepared for the storm. I know she is. Oh, there she is. Yeah, but I just wanted to take a minute and celebrate Sabina, who has been totally killing it. And she's officially an Emerald today, but she's also one person away from locking in Success Starters. And getting her free ticket to Summit, which means she's hit Success Club this is going to be her 3rd month in a row. So she's already on a roll, and I know this is the first of many celebrations, but she's been working so hard, and she works like multiple jobs, and she's still dedicating her time to learning everything and diving in, and she's been a super go-getter. So congrats to Sabina for being official.
Hey, I forgot too. Stormy locked in her first month of Success Starters, so she gets the free call with Carl. Not the free call. Is it free? I don't know what I'm saying. The call with Carl Deichler, and she's working towards. Hopefully, you can get your free ticket with Sabine. So, yeah, you still there, Cal? You're frozen. All right, guys. Well, are there any other announcements? All right. Kelly, Tucker's obsessed with Isla right now. He's like,
I'm like trying to show her him because I want her to stop flailing on me right now.
Oh, yeah. He's a little...
Okay, there's a cute little boy right there. Your future husband. Can you just check him out while I talk? Yeah, he's really exciting.
He's like, I'm going to love my mommy. Okay, all right. I'm turning it over to Kelly. Let's hear what you got, girl.
Okay, so I'm not going to lie about this. I was comfortable recruiting and talking to people outside of my warm network from the beginning. The reason was I don't know if you guys know this about me. I lived overseas for 4 years, and I was in charge of opening up flagship stores for Abercrombie and Fitch. And so my job over there was, I think the smallest store we opened had 400 employees, and we went over there with nobody. So I had to recruit and hire 400 people, and one of our stores was like 800 people. And I had to do it in foreign languages, and it was really awkward and uncomfortable, and I said lots of inappropriate things. So I came into this being pretty comfortable with talking to people that I didn't know. And I mean, doing it in English is way easier than doing it in German. But it still doesn't make the conversation any easier, because when you are doing it for this type of purpose, it's hard because asking people to give you money essentially in the end result and to trust you. And with Abercrombie, it was more like we were offering people jobs. So I had to sort of rectify those two things. And I guess it's sort of like the introduction that you give to yourself is going to be what sets the tone. I really think that your like very first sentence, I'm sorry that my child is noisy. Your very first sentence is going to be the Kickstarter. It's going to be whether or not they respond to you. So you really want to think about that very first sentence that you're saying to people, and it 100% better be genuine, because if it's not, then people will see right through you and they'll know exactly like what your end goal is. And they think that they know what your end goal is when really your end goal is providing like a healthy lifestyle for somebody. But there's a I guess a perception out there of what we're doing. And so you want to make sure that, I guess, your job isn't the first thing that you're talking about. It's not even the 10th thing you're talking about. But I'm also not a fan of dragging things out. Like I don't tend to form and connect with people over like months and months unless I really feel like it's necessary. But most of the time, if it's somebody that I don't know, I'll end up in either inviting them or deciding not to invite them within the first like 24 hours. So when I'm like talking about like genuine things, I don't like to say things like, wow, your family is so cute, or how old are your kids, or things like that, because that can be like a little bit creepy. I like to I always just message them. I'll like maybe like a couple things on their page, but I don't just comment on something and hope that they like reach out to me. I'll just direct message them about something on their page. So I don't share my political views on social media very often, at least not anymore. But if I see somebody post something that aligns with me and what I think, I will send them a message and be like, oh, that was so funny, or I feel like we're connected in our views, or something like that. If I think something is just genuinely funny on their page, I will comment on that in Messenger to them. I actually connected with somebody the other day over donuts. Sorry, my kid is like obnoxious right now. I connected with somebody the other day over donuts. She posted something about donuts, and like I had never seen this type of donut, and I just messaged her and I was like, you have to tell me what that is. I've never heard of it before. And we ended up talking for like, I don't know, like hours after that, because I just said something about these donuts on her page. I didn't end up inviting her because through the conversations, I came to realize that she was already doing workouts with Beachbody and things like that. So I didn't see the need to invite her. So we just chatted. And then when she said that, I was like, oh, that's so awesome. Like, good for you. It's so important to stay fit. And I didn't even like say that I was a coach, because I didn't want her thinking that that was my intention to connect with her in the first place. So if I am realizing that I'm not going to invite somebody, I don't I don't mention that I'm a coach. Because later down the line, if I do want to talk to them, or if I do feel like inviting them will be important, I don't want them to think that that first contact was ingenuine. I had a conversation with someone today, and that actually started yesterday. And I ended up inviting her in the middle of the conversation. And then today, she's like, she mentioned some other sort of like kickboxing workout that they have here in Charlotte that I'd never heard of. And I had sent her a Core de Force workout because she had just had a baby. And I was like, oh, this is what I did right after I had a baby. And she was like, oh, so are you like a rep for Beachbody? And I'm like, yeah, well, I coach for the company. I don't think of myself as a rep. I like to think of like my team as my own team. And then she like with a winky face was like, oh, is that why you friend requested me, just because of Beachbody? And the great thing is that because our initial conversation was really genuine, I was able to refer back to that. And so what I said was like, oh my gosh, no, like and I said, I friend requested you because you're a mom in Charlotte and I just moved here and I don't know anybody. And I was like, and I invited you to this because you mentioned first that me and my husband doing yoga together was one of your goals with your husband. And so I was able to refer back to that. And she's like, oh my God, I was just kidding, blah, blah, blah. And totally changed the tone of the conversation. And she ended up saying, okay, so wait, how do these accountability groups work? And so we're still chatting. So I guess my point is that if you do lead with a genuine topic of conversation, then there's nothing negative that can come out of it. If I had just friended her and instantly said like, hey, do you want to do a challenge group? Then she would have called me out and I would have had nothing to refer back to. So that was, I think, really important for me in this. Yay, thank you. No more baby. So let me see, I wrote down a couple notes. Yeah, I guess those were the big ones. Like if you're genuine when you connect with somebody and you comment either on something that they've posted or a photo they've posted or something that you guys have in common, a great way to do this is if you're connecting with people that are friends of friends, or if they are like in different like Facebook groups you have in common. So one thing I've sent to somebody was like, oh my God, I love that crockpot recipe you posted on the crockpotting group. It's really embarrassing. And I was like, can you send me the recipe? And then we started talking. Or another person I talked to, I was like, hey, I don't remember if we ever met in person, but I know that so-and-so is a mutual friend of ours. Did you ever go to poker night at so-and-so's house when I lived in Vermont? And so if it's like, I guess just always going back to the genuine thing. And if you're just commenting like, oh, your family is so cute, or I love your dog, or things like that, but you don't mean it, or you don't have a connection to what you're saying, it's going to be weird. I'm able to say things like, I love your boxer because I have one too, and they're the best family dogs, or things like that. But you've got to be able to, like, we call it connecting for a reason. You're not just like it's attacking. It's you have to find that mutual connection. But Laura,
so I was going to say, like, when you have, that I have friends on my Facebook, I don't even know how I became friends with them. Like, maybe I friend requested them a year ago. And I know that like other people have this too, that you don't even really know your connection and you go to their page and there's not much there. What would you like, how would you start forming with someone like that? Or are you really like searching all of your friends so that you find, because I'm talking about like truly cold leads who never went to a poker night with you, maybe you're starting to utilize your like page and you could say, oh, I saw you liked my spaghetti squash or whatever. But I guess I'm just asking for myself, and I'm sure other people think it too. But like, what do you say? Like, how are you finding common ground with those types of leads? Or
if I have somebody that I look at and I'm like friends with them, and I look at their page and I literally have nothing in common with them, I actually defriend them because I I want to build a team of people that I connect with and that I really feel strongly about. And it's a different thing if you like maybe don't have a lot in common, but you can tell like you're sort of a similar person where like maybe they're posting funny things or recipes or things like that. And there's really not that much else, but you know that there potentially could be a connection. Whereas if there's somebody who's like very different from me, and I don't want to like say anything because I don't want to offend anybody, but if there's just somebody who's like, I know instantly is not me, I actually defriend them and then just start friending other people, in sort of like replacing it. Because I want to be able to connect with people. And even if one of those people potentially turned out to be a challenger for me, I wouldn't feel comfortable coaching them because I wouldn't, besides the actual coaching aspect, I wouldn't have anything to say to them. Like I wouldn't have a way, everything would be about Beachbody, and I don't want it to be about that. Like I want to be able to say like, how's your daughter doing? Or things like that. Like I want there to be more in the relationship than just the, hey, did you do your workout today? Type of thing. So they don't have to be a friend of a friend or anything. Actually, for last month, I hit, with me and Noah, I hit SC18. And one of them was a girl that I worked with a really long time ago. And then one girl was a friend of a friend. And then the rest of them I didn't know at all before this. Like I'd never met, I had like zero connection. There was no friends of friends, no nothing. So I guess that's 7 people last month that I had never even spoken to before, that I just friend requested and then started conversations with. So I tapped out my warm market a long time ago. My rule for myself when I started was SC10 every month. And when you do that, you tap out your warm market really fast. And so you have to be willing to just jump into the cold and know how uncomfortable it's going to be. But like I said, like if you lead with something genuine, and this is my other tip I forgot to say. If you lead with compliments, it can never go wrong. Because if you're complimenting somebody and you're saying, oh my gosh, you're so inspiring, or I love the way that you said that, or just something that you know someone will appreciate, and it has to be genuine. It can't be like a fake compliment that you think someone will find that someone will appreciate. It has to be something that you actually mean, because people will see through it. Actually, Bree, you're on this call. Let me find my conversation with Bree, because when Bree and I first started talking, and I've told her this, when I first said something to her, like I 100%, I meant what I was saying. And it's going to sound really funny, but she posted this thing about whoopee cushions. And I think it's that like, correct me if I'm wrong, Bree, but you said something about like your kid being like afraid of whoopee cushions or something. Is that right?
Yeah, she's terrified of them. I posted a video and it's hilarious.
Right. And so what I said to Bree, this was what I said. I said, hey, Bree, thanks for the friend ad. Because I always say thank you for adding me as a friend, because it takes a lot for somebody to add somebody that they don't know. And I said, your little girl is so cute. Her eyes remind me of my daughter's, because they both have like the same little almond-shaped eyes. And I said, how old is she? I totally agree with you on the whoopee cushions, haha. And I meant everything that I was saying. Like I wasn't like reaching out with an expectation that she would be a challenger. I wasn't reaching out with the expectation she would even be a coach. And like, I mean, she's like killing it right now, but that was our original connection, and it was genuine, and it became a friendship out of that. And I mean, we talked for, let's see, Bria, I started talking to you on July 26th, and then she signed up at the very beginning of August as a coach. Like she was just like, I'm in. Like I'm not even a challenger. I'm just going to coach. So it's, if you actually really connect with somebody, then it goes into really cool places. And the worst thing that can happen is that you end up with a friend. So that's like my spiel on it. But I can give you guys examples if you want to.
Quickly, just because we're on this note and because Stormy's on the call too, I wanted to just give that example. Hopefully Stormy doesn't mind me telling the story a little bit. Are you okay if I tell the story? Yeah? Okay. You're moving slowly. So Stormy was a random friend request too. She and I were on this nursing forum thing together, and she posted a picture of her, she gave an IV. Did you give an IV to like a deer or like, I don't, like an animal that was not a human? Am I thinking of the
A
right-
deer.
A deer, yeah. And I was like, holy shit, who is this girl? Like poking IVs and deer. Like I gotta reach out to her. And like, I think that's how our conversation started. And it was truly like really genuine. Like I thought she looked cool. She looked like someone that maybe had similar style to me. Like her hair was cool. And that's like, I think that's the problem sometimes is I try to just go after like anybody. And like when I actually hone in on people that I think could be my people, that's when I find forming to be much more natural. So we started talking about figured out we were both stepmoms, and we figured out, you know, Stormy has dealt with loss and had a miscarriage, and just like how that's, you know, I was like, holy shit, girl, like that's a lot. She was like, oh no, I'm totally fine. Like at first she was like, nope, I'm good, no big deal. And then like we just kept chatting, and like of course more came out. But like you said with Bree, like now I have this rock star friend, challenger, coach. Like she's so my tribe, and I feel like we're meant to be. When she posts things about her stepson, like it just feels very, very natural. So I think, I mean, what I'm taking a little bit from you, Kelly, is like to take away also looking for your tribe and just not going out and like friend requesting every rando that you can find that will accept you, because those probably like, then you're going to have to weed out however many people from that. So that's my little blurb there.
The other thing that I've noticed recently, and I like Bree has probably seen this a little bit, but actually I've been finding these people that I like really connect with recently. I'm actually starting to figure out who I am as a coach and what my tribe is starting to look like. And I'm realizing like, and Bree and I were like laughing about this, but we're like hippie sisters, like rock climbing and dirty sometimes, but we do shower once in a while. But like, I'm realizing like, this is like who my group is, and this is who I am. And it helps you, like we're all supposed to figure out like who our avatar is. And I think when you actually start forming with people you don't know, then you figure out who your avatar is, because you'll try to connect with somebody, it might not work, and you're like, that person and we don't have enough in common. And maybe you start realizing, well, that person likes to do this in their off time, and I like to do this. And you know, it's just it actually helps you figure out who you are when you start forming with these people and connecting with people that you don't know, because you think sometimes you know who you are or who you're looking for, and because you're connecting with everybody in your warm network. And those people, because they're like lifelong friends, but a lot of our lifelong friends we met in high school, and we're not those people anymore. And you know, you want to be working with people now who you are now. So that's a big thing. So that's all. I can share specific conversations if you want now, Laura, if you want to stop recording.